I'm Bart Herbison, Executive Director of the Nashville Songwriters Association, and this week for the Nashville Tennessean, the story behind the song is The Hole, written by Mr. James Dean Hicks. Good to see you this
Good
morning.
to see you, Bart. Thank you.
I found something on Wikipedia about this song.
But you know it's got to be true. It's on Wikipedia.
Well,
So.
I just love the way they describe it. It's very scientific. The Hole is a song describing a man who is burdened by his sins, which are compared to a hole in the ground. He is described as digging the hole deeper in a futile attempt to get out. Now, he won't let go of the shovel, and he can't dig out of the hole. I kind of thought that was pretty cool.
That's
man.
not bad for Wikipedia.
So you wrote this with one of the great craftsmen in our industry, Mr. Skip Ewing. You remember that day? Do you remember the idea? Talk to us about it.
I do. I remember it well. The night before Skip and I were working together, I was a fan of his for a number of years, and he'd already been an artist and had hits out. And so I had come up with this little idea that I thought was great, and I brought it to Skip, and he came in that morning, and he had brought this melody that he loved. So we started writing the ballad that I kind of brought, and we ended up getting cut 3 or 4 times. And then the other song, we were writing 2 songs at the same time, and the other song was called I Just Want to Live My Life. And we kind of did a verse and a chorus, and with his melody, and went, well, I don't know, that lyric's not great. And I said, well, Skip, I got this other idea called You Can't Dig Out of a Hole. I said, because no matter how far you go, you're just digging deeper and deeper. He goes, awesome. So we ended up writing 2 songs the very same day, and The Hole was one of them.
How'd you get the idea?
Well, the idea was there's a gentleman named Dave Ramsey.
Oh, yeah.
And Dave Ramsey originated out of Nashville, Tennessee on the local WTN radio station. And I became a real fan of his and a fan of how he thought money should be. You don't spend money that you don't have. You know, and he said, and once you're in a hole, if you keep trying to dig your way out, you're just going to go deeper and deeper because you're going to do the same thing again and again and again. And he said, you got to climb out. You got to change your behavior and your pattern. And so I thought, well, that's kind of a nice concept. And so I just kind of wrote that idea down. And so in a big way, Dave Ramsey helped me dig out of a hole because that became a big hit. And I was running a big publishing company, had a bunch of writers. And so that was a blessing.
Let's talk about the cut. How did it get to Randy?
Well, originally Skip had a record deal on Word Records. Skip recorded it, and I said, Skip, now, his record thing wasn't that they weren't going to release it as a single. I said, Skip, can I pitch this song? I said, I want to pitch it to Randy Travis. He said, okay, if you want to pitch it to Randy, that's okay. So I pitched it to Randy, and I had called Allison Jones about it, who worked at DreamWorks at the time, and I said, I got this great song, and I told her the name of it and left her a message. And then I get a call back. And I wasn't there, and so they ended up calling Sony and said, James Dean Hicks called and said, there's a song called The Ditch. They want to know about this song called The Ditch. He said it'd be great for Randy. And they go, The Ditch? With Skip? He's never written a song. Are you sure it's not The Hole? She goes, oh, that's it, The Hole. So it was kind of that way, and then there was a movie called Deep Impact coming out at the time with Morgan Freeman, Tia Leone, and Robert Duvall, and they ended up putting that for about 23 seconds in there because The Hole just perfectly fit with an asteroid hitting the earth and destroying it. So Skip and I both have pretty big ranges as far as the way we sing, and we tend to write melodies, choruses jump way up, verses sink down, and so I thought, well, that's too rangy for Randy. It's the best record I think I've ever had. I mean, he's just sang it so well, and when I heard him sing it, I was just completely blown away. And I just thought James Stroud did a great record on it, and Randy really sang it fabulously. With everything that I write, and most of us that are, songsters in Nashville, we try to put our real life into our songs, and hopefully that's something people want to hear occasionally.
It became a political anthem. I mean, and because I've been places with you where members of Congress requested it, where the people that never unbutton their tie would sing it and get down. Did that surprise you? And a little bit about that. How'd that all come about?
Well, you never know where your songs are going to end up, I always say. Marsha Blackburn, she was a fan of that song, and then when they were trying to get a state income tax for the state of Tennessee, which most of all of us were, vehemently opposed to it. We thought that was going to be terrible for our state. Anyway, she started using that song when she was still in the government of the state here, and they started blasting that song, and that became kind of one of the theme songs to stop the tax. So I was pretty proud of that, and I mean, she's even mentioned me in the song in the halls of Congress, and so that's been really nice.
I've heard it on Hannity and other national shows anytime we're talking about the deficit, so you never know. And great job this week for the Nashville Tennessean, the story behind the song, James Dean Hicks and The Hole.
Well, deeper and deeper, he's going down, driving his future right into the ground. Well, he thinks he's closer the farther he goes, but he's still on the bottom and he can't dig out of the hole. Well, it's hell on the bottom, you see, you can't dig